I came across a tool several years ago which I've used many times with clients. And initially I started using this tool with a couple of law firms, a couple of accounting firms. Anyone really can use it that's got fee earners. So if you've got fee earners in your business and you want to be able to make some decisions around who should be promoted or who needs to be worked with and how can they be promoted and how can you get more out of them, then this tool is one that I've used before, and it's certainly one that I'd recommend to you. So what it looks like, and if you want a copy of this, it's going to look like that. I filled some numbers in there on this blank one here, but this is a terrific little tool, and we've got here up the top of this tool the ranking score. The ranking goes from 0, which is totally incompetent or useless, or why did you employ them? Number 3 is they need improvement. Number 5 is good performance. Number 7 is very good performance. And number 10 is, well, that's why you employed them, because hopefully they're going to be better than you. So in your business, you want the competencies written down here, and I've only listed 10, but it doesn't matter. You could have as many as you like to just help you make your scoring easy about the people that you've got working inside your company. And the competency is going to be measuring, first of all, it's going to be measuring you. And you're going to do a self-assessment on yourself, and hopefully you will be honest, but typically what happens with most business owners that have started the company and worked their way up, they are competent about most of the things that they're doing. Otherwise, how would they be successful enough to employ their staff? So we've got you. So that's you as the business owner. Then we've got person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, and so on down the list, as many as you got. And you could quite easily do, well, as many people as you understand and know about is how many people you can do quite comfortably. What I would recommend is whatever the competency is, and in this one we've written down here communications, initiative, trust, coaching, planning, cooperation, innovation, teamwork, leadership, and results. Now we're going to be measuring you initially, and those are the scoring ranks that we're going to put up there out of 10. And then we're going to be measuring the other people in your organisation inside your business. Now what I would recommend is that this is typically an Excel spreadsheet tool, and when it's a hard copy, please, I would suggest to this very strongly, as strongly as I can on a video. Don't put the person's name at the top of the list for obvious reasons, because if you give them a low rating and this ever falls into someone's hands, you don't want to have someone coming to you and possibly resigning because they're really upset because you put their name and giving it a really bad rating. So here's how the tool works. So we're going to assess you, and in this example here, we might turn around and say, we'll give you a 7 out of this. And person number 1, whoever that person is, we'll give them a score of 1. No, we'll make that a 6. That was easy to fix up. And then person 2, we give them a score of 3. And person 3, 4, 5, and so on. We can just rank the scores out like that. So I like going across the rows, but try it out and see what you think like. And you can do this over a cup of tea, cup of coffee. It should only take you 5 or 10 minutes to knock it up. And this is going to give you a great bit of an insight as to who needs to be trained, what areas they need to be trained, if they need training at all. Initiative for yourself, you might give yourself an 8 out of a total of 10. You might give this person 5 for initiative, and this one here perhaps a 3. Now we're going to measure trust. If we look at trust, we'll give this again an 8. And then we go for perhaps this person here, this number 1 person is really trustful, so we might give them a 9. But this person here, number 2, which is the 3rd person inside your company, they might be just new to the company and you're not really sure yet whether they can be trusted. So you might give them a low ranking of, say, 2. And what we've got now is coaching. What's your ability, as far as you're concerned, to coach people? you might turn and say, well, I'm pretty good at this. I would give myself a 9. We would then look at the next person that's next to you and you'd rank them and you'd say, well, how do I rank them? Well, maybe a 7. And this person here, they may be not in that capacity, or they may just not have the capacity to have the skills yet to coach people. So we might give them a 3. Planning skills is another thing that we'd assess next. And we'd look at, say, well, how strong are you at planning? And we might turn and say that you're excellent. You can't get any better than you. You analyse and you plan everything that you possibly can. Person number 1, we might give them a score of, let's say, 6. And then this person down here might get a score ranking of, again, not a high score, maybe another 3. Now we're looking at cooperation. In your business, how much cooperation is required and how good would you assess yourself? Again, we'll give you quite a high score at an 8. This next person down here might be quite high as well. We'll give them, say, a 7. And this person here is also very cooperative, just doesn't show a lot of initiative and hasn't been there long enough to do things. So still gets quite a high score at a 6, even though he's relatively new to the company. Innovation. How much innovation are you, as the business owner, putting into the company? And you might have lots of things that you've got planned out for the next 12 months, so you might give yourself a very high score of 9. This person here might need to be trained a little bit more, or perhaps facilitated to think more around what could be done to introduce better customer service to clients, or better process engineering, or things like that, or turning quotes around. So that person might get, again, a 6, and this person might get a 3. So I'll leave these one blank because I don't want to try and add up the numbers at the bottom, but I don't want you adding up and telling me that I've got them wrong. What we want to look at now is if we did add these up and we came up with some scores, let's say, well, this one here would be 81. So we've scored quite highly out of a potential of 100 because there's 10 competencies there, times the potential score of 10. This person number 2 has got a score of 66. And this person down here has got a score of 32. So what we're looking at now is that we can, now that we've got these ranked, and when you're ranking them, ideally you want to be using some sort of objective system, which is performance-based coaching, performance-based appraisals. We have sat down with your staff every 4 or 5 months, but certainly more than once a year. This thing about doing once a year is just a dangerous game. And what happens nowadays is that your staff, if they don't feel loved by you, if they don't get the warm and fuzzies, they're probably going to walk away and go to somewhere where they're going to feel more appreciated. So your job is to sit down and think about your staff and where you can take them. So now that you've got them identified here as saying, this person here, well, what do I need to do? And you might identify some things that you need to do around cooperation. You've scored yourself a little bit down on communication. Well, what could we do about communication? Well, perhaps sitting down and doing performance appraisal with staff might be the thing that's going to give you the best results. And you might identify 2 or 3 things here that you could be doing to be able to achieve that. You might want to go on some management development course, you might go on some writing course, you might think that I'm going to do some other ways of sitting down and just talking with the team members. Person number 1 has got a low score here for initiative, so we might identify a couple of training courses that that person could go on if they indeed have it in their personality that they can be asked to show initiative. Or it could be that they need to be changing roles so they get some more initiative and be allowed to demonstrate it. They've got some low skills around initiative and innovation, so again we might send them on some training courses for that. This person here that scored 32, why are they here? Was it a good recruit? Was it a bad recruit? Is there any way that we can turn this person around to get them to perform better? And if we can't, maybe it's just time to to help them make a better career decision for themselves. Might be the polite way of terming it. Now you can go along here and just map these out for any other people inside your organisation. So this is a tool that I've used for several years with my clients, and I would commend this tool to you.